Hey, gang. I got to stop saying that because I'm talking to you. That's right. In your car, wherever you're at, I'm talking to you. See, am I ready to go? Oh, we got the Howard Stern hair today. Look at that. No ponytail. Got it all down. Give give the poor people watching via social media. Oh, wait a minute. No, wrong button. There it is. Oh, look at that mess. I am late today. Running late because of good news. Hang out until the end to get that good news. I'm not even on all the platforms yet. I get to go on 2 Twitter Spaces yet. I tried to reinstall Club Deck. That's not working at all. I tried to write to them via the email address that they gave. That ain't happening. I got that kicked back overnight. But I do have good news. The good word of independent thinking will be spread throughout the Tampa Bay region. Stay tuned for another 55 minutes or so. We'll talk about that when we do the morning motivation. Today's featured celebrity, Bono from U2. Now I just got to find my sheet so I know what the hell else to talk about. But first, my buddy, for today's Pierre's Pot, on our individual days like today, we get that out of the way right away. Pierre's Pot, we can't start a day without a toast, right? A toast of the morning sauce. I didn't even get a chance to let him know that I was going to tell him or that I was going to toast him. So my buddy Andy I don't even know how to pronounce his last name yet. Gilfillan? I don't know. Supposedly he sometimes listens, although he might be at work by now. Has started a Facebook page, group. But you know how I am about balance. You know how I am about obvious free speech, but also truth. How I am about fact checking, all those things of that nature. Project Red, White, and Blue. Well, that's not a link to the actual company. He's been trying to figure out what. Well, that ain't it either. Why am I not finding what I'm looking for? He's been trying to figure out what he's going to do. Oh, there's no page for it. Well, then how the hell did I get invited? What the hell did I get invited to? There's his flooding. So last month he started Retriever Studios. And, right around the same time we rebranded to Mastiff Media because I didn't want my name all over everything, for God's sakes. But let's see. I thought he posted or tagged me to join this, or here we go. There it is. So is this a page? Is this a group? Private group so far. Already got more than 100 members. Damn it. What the hell? Who does he know? Project Red, White, Blue. Not and blue, just red, white, blue. Very simple. Why can I not go to the about? There we go. Group created on August 26th, yesterday. And already this son of a bitch has 108 members. Dude, well done. I already put one post in it. in the discussion section. Who wants to debate a lefty? I wonder who he has in mind. Because I'm not a lefty, and he asked me. Hi, everyone. This is the first post as we develop a gay Republican podcast. Please introduce yourself and provide your expertise. And I'm in here somewhere. There it is. Hey there. My name is Jurgs, and I'm a retired Secret Service agent with a degree in history and political science. I'm the host of a daily radio show and podcast called Up the Middle. It airs each day at 11 a.m. Eastern on multiple terrestrial stations and their websites, as well as 4 internet stations, including a progressive station called America Radio 1. Actually, it's America 1 Radio. Typo. And an all-talk station that airs positive content, my own, Jurgs Radio. Check out the page or go to jurgsradio.com. See you at 11. Here's Alex. Hello, I'm Alex. I'm a 27-year-old bisexual man and a conservative upstate New Yorker. I left some of my general knowledge in the membership application. I have a personal conversion story in which I grew out of all the too common liberal mindset. That kind of conversion. And I work in a subfield of the entertainment industry, and I can speak a little bit to left-wing bias at the realm. I think he meant at the helm. That's what I love about some of these conservatives. I'm an avid follower of James Lindsay and Benjamin Boyce, and my biggest area of interest is the impact of DEI and queer theory on our broader society. God, I got to get my readers or something. Jesus. The impact of DEI and queer theory on our broader society and culture. Oh, I love conservatives. Remember, I'm conservative, but more importantly, I'm independent. Rob Crimson says, I'm Rob. Not sure I have any qualifications. Well, that's probably the best intro going. I'm a conservative. That's all. I'm Rob. Not sure I have any qualifications to help with a podcast other than being a diehard conservative who will support conservative causes. I think the question there is, how far right are you with your conservatism, and are you in favor of the current fascist candidates? Here's another Andrew. Hello, my name is Andrew. Sorry, I had to adjust something here. Hello, my name is Andrew, and I'm a small business owner, a college student, a stock market trader, and a public school employee. Jesus, dude, do you sleep? I wear many hats. Yeah, at the same time. I wear many hats, but specialize in communications and persistence. Oh, smell you. I know what I'm good at, and I stick to those things. All of them. We all play a part in this machine called society, and each piece has... Oh, now he's a philosopher, too. Ugh. We all play a part in this machine called society, and each piece has its own function. Well, what exactly is yours there, Jack? Jack of all trades? Master of communications. No, you're master of flowery communications. Useless communications. AC Bennett says he's proud to be here. William Adams says, hey, everyone, I'm Bill. I reside in St. Petersburg, Florida. current member of activist groups like Young Republicans, Gays Against Groomers. Oh my God. And it spells gag. Love it. And of course, the GOP. I need to post the, and Bill has a nice big old cowboy hat on his head. And there it is in his cover photo. Oh, isn't he cute? We the people. Oh. Is that a old fashioned? He's got a cocktail in his hand in his profile pic. All right, Bill, you live it. I love that burn from Jon Stewart. We the people. You know, there's more words than that, right? Smaller font, equally binding. Yeah, that's the thing. All these right wingers think that they're patriots because they put the top of the Constitution in their profile pic or cover photo, and they forget about the rest of it, except the Second Amendment. And free speech when you agree with them. And that one's everybody. That's the left too. It is. I would love for you to disagree or agree with me, but you got to call me to do it. 1-888-88 Yergs. 1-888-88 YERGZ. And the rest for you, Andy. I got to learn how to pronounce his last name. What the hell kind of friend am I? But today's toast of the morning sauce goes in your direction. I do have a camera back today. Pierre's Pot, a salute to Philly's Pierre Robert. On the airwaves at 93.3 WMMR for more than 40 years. He has beat my entire career in the Secret Service, doubled it, and he's still happy. I think that's why on the overlay, not only is that pot of coffee in the foreground, but that very colorful, pretty looking leaf is in the background. Because there's no way. All the shows he's seen come and go at MMR, Pierre Robert, still toasting the morning sauce. Today, ours goes to Andy. So next up, I've got, this hour can't go fast enough today. I've got, let's see, that's all the old stuff from the last. I have these go-bys or what the hell's it? I can't even think of what it's called. A template. That's it. For the show notes. So I know what I'm doing every day. I had everything. I was ready to go. And then I got a phone call. And that's what we're going to talk about in about, I don't know. What do we got? About, probably about a half an hour from now. We'll talk about that. We'll wrap up with the phone call, the big news, morning motivation from our friend Paul Hewson, a.k.a. Bono. And I'm still not even on the other Twitter spaces yet. Oh man. Don't even tell me. Check 1, 2. All right. This thing happened again. So we got to go to a commercial quick. I got to fix a mic. 99.1 WDJY, Mastiff Media. We'll be back after this. Smell nasty. Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles
It's what we burn here in Studio Yergs. I'm burning right now leather scented candle. That's right, leather scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yergs and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, cater dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yergs Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel, Talk TV 24. How's your website doing? I'll tell you how mine's doing. It's awesome. Yergs.com is gotta be the best website for anybody in podcasting or any sort of broadcast solo journalist like me. How did I get that? Limit Break Digital. Limit Break Digital did my website with Yergs.com. They did YergerGroup.com. They take care of my marketing, my branding, and help me get the message out to you. Go to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs for 10% off your next project. That's a $3,000 site, Yergs.com. And you can get 10% off that by just going to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs today. Talk to Jay. That's my guy. We all got a guy, and Jay's mine. limitbreakdigital.com. Hey gang, it's Yergs. Right now, our country is about to embark on yet another controversial presidential election. I have an actual question, legitimate question, as a political scientist and historian by education. If you are a Trump supporter, I want to hear from you. I want to know what your appeal to Donald Trump is at this time. Please email me news, N-E-W-Z, at yergs.com. News, N-E-W-Z, at YERGZ.com. Thanks. Participants must be willing to provide their contact information, answer a series of questions, and then have their first name broadcast over the radio and social media relevant to Up the Middle.
Hi, gang. There's another notice. Yeah, that's right. James emailed. Yeah, I doubt it. But anyway. Yeah, so something I got to take care of with our Atlanta station. I got to pay them some money to stay on the air. My production company does. And we're actually going to be getting, I think, some sponsorships in Atlanta now. Whether they provide it or with what we're talking about, there's no reason why we shouldn't be getting it directly to us, just on, through our own effort. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first, for today, copy link. Zuckerberg has apparently written himself a letter, sent it to, was it the House Judiciary Committee, the one that's owned and operated by Republicans. But no, excuse me. Let me rephrase. The one that is owned and operated by MAGA, to be clear. And I just don't get this. Oh, you know what? I need to put that too. Is this the group? Yeah, there it is. I don't know if I should put the link to the group because I don't know that it's my place to openly invite folks like this. There we go. I'm just, yeah. I want to support the guy, but I also, don't want to be part of libtards infiltrating the private gentleman's club. So I'll just, he doesn't have his own page. It's just his profile. So there's that. I'll have to ask him. But today's toast went to Andrew Gilfillan. Gilfillan. I don't know. I got to ask him that too. So Zuckerberg is now, ironically, within the last 2.5 months. I mean, let's call it, and people are going to be making their decision. Let's call it the last 2 months of an election. Zuckerberg decides that now he needs to write to the House Judiciary Committee, the MAGA-controlled House Judiciary Committee, and tell about how he was censored by the Biden administration and pressured. Meanwhile, he's not giving details of what was being put out, like the BS that he was putting out. So yeah, this is in CNN now. They've broken this, at least at this round or this stage. Zuckerberg says Meta was pressured, in quotes, so it must be really serious, by Biden administration to censor COVID-related content in 2021. Well, do we need a history lesson? Do we need to remind us of, and if you're watching on video, by the way, if you think I'm looking a little cramped right now, like my shoulders are up by my ears, it's because I'm creating a little bed for my, originally this past Saturday, she was 10 pounds. Now she's feeling about 30. We've got a pit bull puppy, and I know pit bull isn't an actual breed, but that's essentially the type dog we got right now. My son's dog, and of course he works a lot, and he goes to school, which is where he's at right now. So yeah, that's why I'm all like crunched up, because I'm sitting in my chair, but I'm like got my heels back on the legs of the wheels of the chair, so I can prop up my knees, so I can give this little girl a even bed to sleep on, and she doesn't slide off into my desk. Of course, it's amazingly comfortable for me. I just want to close this door and lock myself in here when I go in the air. So the Zuck, according to CNN, the chairman and CEO of the social media company Meta, parent company of not Twitter, of Facebook and Instagram, wrote a letter to the House Judiciary Committee, received on Monday, that his teams were pressured in quotes. So that's, I guess, his words, by the Biden White House to censor some content around the COVID-19 pandemic. And his letter reads, in 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, Like, where else would they be? Repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. In his letter to the Judiciary Committee, the Zuck man said the pressure he felt in 2021 was wrong, and he came to regret that his company, the parent of Facebook and Instagram, was not more outspoken. Zuckman added that with the benefit of hindsight and new information, new information, because we haven't heard that from the far right before. There were decisions made in 2021 that wouldn't be made today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe you're not bowing down to pressure, but I think you were a little willing to help the Trump administration. In any administration in either direction, bullshit. And we're ready to push back if something like this happens again. President Biden said in July of 2021 that social media platforms are killing people with misinformation surrounding the pandemic. Yes, that's actually true. And silver spoon asshats like Zuckerberg don't understand when a certain type of disease comes by once every 100 years. Life has to be a little different for a little bit. And maybe if you do that, you'll live. Meta still thrives in the metaverse that nobody talks about anymore. Though Biden later walked back these comments, U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy said that at the time, that misinformation posted on social media was a serious threat to public health. A White House spokesperson responded to Zuckerberg's letter. Oh, good. We're already hearing from them. Saying the administration at the time was encouraging responsible actions to protect public health and safety. Yeah, that's what he does. That's what the White House does. Just because you haven't seen it from 2017 to 2020 doesn't mean that it's gone away. Our position has been clear and consistent. We believe tech companies and other private actors should take into account the effects their actions have on the American people while making independent choices about the information they present. Zuckerberg in the letter also said the FBI warned his company about potential Russian disinformation around Hunter Biden and the Ukrainian firm Burisma affecting the 2020 election. That fall, Zuckerberg said his team temporarily demoted reporting from the New York Post alleging Biden family corruption while their fact checkers could review the story. Zuckerberg said that since then, it has been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation. Yeah, actually it was. This whole back and forth on a goddamn laptop. I've had plenty of investigations throughout 21 years that involved these technological advances called laptops. Not one made it to the news at the level of Hunter Biden. So if Donald Trump, for actually causing fraud, for actually causing sexual assault, for actually taking part in a coup, not the one that was supposedly against Joe Biden, but the one that he did against an entire country. If that is weaponization, then so is Hunter Biden. Meta has changed its policies and processes to, quote, make sure this doesn't happen again. Oh, aren't you strong? And will no longer demote content in the US while waiting for fact checkers. Do you have any idea how irresponsible you are, dude? I love David Pakman. David Pakman's a big, he's big on YouTube mostly. I know he has his own website, and I'm presuming he's got, I don't know that his show goes to other platforms, but, and I don't always agree because he's way further left than I am, but he's fair. He fact checks. It's called journalism. And he says it. I'm not always the first with a story. In fact, he even says, I'm usually not the first with a story. But he's right. When have you seen him recant something? I think I have. And I think it was way back before he concentrated as much on being accurate and less on being the first one to break news. And here's Facebook. What is it? 1 in 6 people in the world are on Facebook. I mean, when you consider the entire population and that there's plenty of places in the world that have no idea what the internet or computer or a smartphone is, you can understand that's a pretty big number. You would think they would want to have, I don't know, some standard, some higher standard. But no, we just want to have free speech. Even if it's not even close to accurate, we don't care if people believe it. We don't need to have responsibility. We're rich. Okay, here, dude. This is in the letter to the Judiciary Committee. Zuckerberg said he will not repeat actions. Oh, it's hyperlink. Maybe we can see what those actions are. Right click, open a new tab. We'll check that out in a minute. He will not repeat actions he took in 2020 when he helped support electoral infrastructure. That makes no sense. If you're bitching, this is the same thing I dealt with Obama. I loved when people blamed the 2008 housing crisis on Obama. Really? You're blaming that on the junior senator from Illinois? Because he wasn't elected in 2008. And he didn't take office till 2009. Same here. We're talking about actions in 2020 now, yet they're still trying to tie that to Biden when most readers aren't going to realize Biden wasn't president then. He was a private citizen. In 2020, he was no longer vice president. He was nothing. But they're not telling you that part. And neither is Zuck. The Meta chief has long faced scrutiny from congressional Republicans who've accused Facebook and other large tech platforms of being biased against conservatives. Bullshit! While Zuckerberg has stressed that Meta enforces its rules impartially, yeah, don't buy that one. The narrative has gained a firm foothold in conservative circles. Republican lawmakers have specifically scrutinized Facebook's decision to limit the circulation of a New York Post story about Hunter Biden. In testimony before Congress in recent years, Zuckerberg has sought to bridge the divide between the social media giant and policymakers to little effect. Yeah. So I know people that knew him. He's all about appearance. Whether there's an actual bridge, he doesn't care. As long as that 1 in 6 becomes 1 in 5. That's what he cares about. In a 2020 Senate hearing, Zuckerberg acknowledged that many of Facebook's employees are left-leaning. How does he know that? Does he ask? Because unless you're in like actual fact checking, which Facebook is not, or unless you're in like some politically oriented occupation, you're not allowed to ask that. It is, as our likely next vice president would say, none of your damn business. How can he claim to support his employees' political views and still know that most of his employees are left-leaning? I know what a lot of the jocks on Yerg's radio lean, because many of them talk about politics, or they talk about it to me. But you know what I can also do? I can tell you the names of all those jocks right now and count them on one hand, because I've had conversations with all of my quote-unquote employees. This guy is talking about a business that has servers to operate his business all over the world. Oh, hush you. I got a puppy that's trying to sleep and doesn't like me talking. They're all over the world. I promise you, he does not talk to all of his employees. So, I mean, I just think knowing that they're left-leaning is some level of conflict of interest. Because if you know that, that's a little much. And if you don't know it, but you're assuming because they're part of the media and all the media is left-leaning, that's quite a big presumption to make with a really big company. All right, I'm beating a dead horse. In June of this year, in a win for the White House, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that the plaintiffs in the case accusing the federal government of censoring conservative voices on social media had no standing. Writing for the majority, Justice Amy Coney Barrett said to establish standing, the plaintiffs must demonstrate a substantial risk that, in the near future, they will suffer an injury that is traceable to the government defendant. Because no plaintiff has carried that burden, none has standing to seek a preliminary injunction. News, yeah, see here, this is the thing. This is why, and I'm not for censorship either, but I am for responsibility. I am for accountability and consequences, none of which do we have right now. News Literacy Project. Did I say literary? News Literacy Project, a nonpartisan education group, said there have been over 500 instances of misinformation during the 2024 election cycle, including fake celebrity endorsements. God, I'm glad I am not a fact checker in this day and age. As always, I skimmed through that article to give you the high points. And the entire link is available on today's show notes, available on yergs.com. When we come back, We'll have morning motivation right after this. Commercial. There it is.
From iHeart Podcasts.
What the hell is going on in here?
Everyone has their limits.
I'd never confronted a situation like this.
The numbers were being inflated and lied about and conflated.
I just thought it was just a really terrible, immoral thing for him to do.
A line they won't cross.
I was stunned, and I just said to him, no.
We're killing people. What exactly are we doing here?
I remember him saying, in this 007 evil villain kind of way, this is the beginning of a process.
You may never have to face that decision. When you find yourself at that line,
Thoughts racing, hearts racing, emotions are all over the place.
They could be harassed, they could be imprisoned, they could be killed.
Somebody needs to just, for once, give everybody the whole truth.
I'm like, this is evil.
and the only person who can sound the alarm is you.
She folded it up, put it in her pantyhose, and walked out of the building.
Yeah, I really am the world's dumbest criminal.
These are the whistleblowers.
I wasn't just going to sit silently by.
I was told you take your questioning black self and get it on up out of my facility because you're trouble.
The message is, if you are disloyal, if you speak out, you will pay.
This is what it's like when the president decides he wants to destroy you.
Bad things are going to happen to him. You're anti-American. You are a disgrace to our country. He should be prosecuted.
When power corrupts, conscience is the last line of defense.
Is it ever too late to do the right thing?
We talk about institutions, but they're really about individual people.
The responsibility drops in everybody's lap.
I'm Miles Taylor. The Whistleblowers premieres Thursday, July 13th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Check out Miles Taylor and the Whistleblowers. I've referenced that plenty of times throughout Up the Middle, Both Sides Now, and Yerg's Tonight. He does an excellent job telling the stories of various people who blew the whistle on the Trump administration and their reasons why, personal and professional, as well as the consequences that these people paid to get the truth to the public. Check out the Whistleblowers on Apple, iHeart, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. The July date that he mentioned is from 2023, and season 1 is complete. It's excellent, and it's still very relevant, probably now more than ever. So I certainly recommend that you give it a look. See you again.
We're back. Now I can take that off. All right, so morning motivation. You know what? I wonder if I can. Oh, there we go. Some of the new features on Restream I like. Some of them can go away. Some of them can work. Would be nice too. I'm trying to share the screen of today's motivation, and it doesn't work when you switch from one to the other like it's supposed to. And then just come up. There it is. All right. Well, that's a little cleaner, but it's also smaller. Whatever. You recognize that dude. That's Paul Hewson. You know, we all know him as Bono. And his quote for today: what turns me on about the digital age, what excited me personally, is that you have closed the gap between dreaming and doing. Hello. It used to be that if you wanted to make a record, you needed a studio and a producer. Now, you need a laptop. Probably some other things as well, but he's right. Look at this. Look at us. Look at what we're doing. I'm sitting here in the third bedroom of my house that I've been in and out of more today during this show. than I have in the amount of times that I've used this as, I got a puppy in my lap again, than in the amount of times that I've used this as an actual bedroom. Why? Well, because I'm putting it to use now. I'm in Florida. The rest of my family's in D.C. or Pennsylvania. We'll do another toast of the morning sauce to Paul, to Bono, as we talk about today's big announcement. The reason why I was running late getting everything set up for today's show is because I had a phone call right about, 10, 15, something like that. Sometime in the hour that I would be prepping for the show. It was from the owner of WTAN, a 4-station conglomerate of stations here in the Tampa Bay area, who is interested in talking. It's also a brokered station, so truth be told, I'm buying the amount of spots that I get. It's not like they're saying, hey, we love your show, we'll pay you. No, I'm not there yet. I'm okay with that. But what is growing is the geographic coverage of the show, of what we're doing on terrestrial radio. And while she pointed out the same thing that I know, and probably most of you also know, that each of these stations, 1490, Yerg's Radio, Rainbow Radio, America One Radio, the UG in London, and now hers, they're all on the internet as well. So that, contrary to what that guy who was busting balls that we talked about on Facebook last week, we are global. That is our reach. That might not necessarily yet be our audience, but it's our reach. And it's all because of what Bono's talking about here. The digital age. We have closed the gap. I would have 4 monitors, 1, usually 2 cameras, a studio quality microphone in a studio. Office space labeled radio station. Instead, this is in my house in the Tampa Bay. I don't tell people where I live, but instead it's in my house. And here I am. Another shout out to Sean Savage, who helped me last night set up this microphone and my soundboard so that it would be sounding a lot better. And I do. Oh, God. Really appreciate what he's done for me. But this digital age is close. I mean, look at smartphones. Sorry, I still got that. Look at smartphones. Remember when a studio like this had a phone, like, hello, receiver to your ear, on the desk at the station that was magically hooked up to the rest of the system? So you could either record the call. Hi, this is Yerg's. What do you want to hear? And then they play that back later when they know that you didn't swear on it. That's why it sounds very edited, because it is. Now, that's another app that's on my virtual desktop. And I could be getting a call right now. And because I got this picture of Bono covering up the entire screen, I wouldn't know it. And I'm trying to also put those photos where this motivation thing comes from. I have a file on my desktop labeled screensavers. And anytime something like that quote comes to my attention, I screenshot it. I reproduce it, but maybe with a better photo of the person saying it, and then I, type over into the photo the quote, whatever. But it's something that has affected my life and inspired me. And I did a video for the Doggy Traders, the first brand that I created to podcast and video and whatever, about what it took back in the day to be a day trader from home. There really wasn't a such thing, because you'd have to call your broker at the office. Maybe if you had a good one, they had an office at the trading place, like at Wall Street or wherever, Philadelphia, Chicago, wherever you're trading. And then they call their guy on the floor who's got a desk, and they give that information to a runner who goes and places the trade. Now that's all done electronically. You do it from, I almost damn near paid for this whole house from that smartphone, right? Well, a smartphone like it. It wasn't that one. But from an iPhone, very similar to the one that I have now. That's the digital age. Here's a digital puppy, a real one, actually. I guess she's analog because she's real. This is Shady. She's been sleeping on my lap for the past hour. She likes her pop-up. It's actually my son's dog. Go back to sleep, baby. It's actually my son's dog. But he's, in his infinite wisdom, is at work. But now he's at school, which I'm glad. 100%. I got to put the clock up today. I didn't do that. 11:56, 99.1 WDJY, 1490 WWPR, and 1340 WTAN. They've got, I got to pull that up real quick in the last couple of minutes here. Tan Talk 1340 is their website. So TAN is the last three letters of their call sign, WTAN. And then they also have 106.1 FM. And then 1350 WDCF. And there was like another, I think it's 102 something is what she said. But that one has a FM as well. Oh, the WDCF is scheduled maintenance. Let's see it's just the same one. So there's essentially two AM FM stations. Well, two AM stations with what are called FM translators. It takes that signal over to the FM waves and rebroadcasts it. By signing with these folks, we have a meeting a week from Thursday, because they know that my one car is in the shop. I got to rely on my son's car, and he's got class and work, so I really can't, without borrowing a car from the neighbors, which I can't guarantee I can do. I really won't be able to get over there definitely until next week. And, there's no huge rush. But we had a great conversation before going on the air today. And she has openings for us at the 11 o'clock hour, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And actually Saturday. But I don't know that I'm going to bite off more than I can chew right away. Yeah, we'll see. Well, and that's what that Thursday meeting is about, frankly, is, talk about this. Joy on Paper with Patsy is on right now. She's on every Tuesday and Thursday. She's been in that time slot for a while. And like I said to her on the phone, I wouldn't want to push her out of that. The folks that join us on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday can either make the switch. But yeah, we get less than a minute left, so we're going to say goodbyes. Don't forget, let's see, what else do I need to? You can reach out to us, news, NEWZ, at yergs.com, YERGZ.com. Tomorrow, we'll see if there's any update on what the White House has said about Zuckerberg. And also an update on WTAN. That's it, gang. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you then. You've been up the middle.